The OP-1 synthesizer from Teenage Engineering is a dream come true for anybody who likes weird, glitchy sounds. And in this video, I'm going to show you 5 advanced things you can do with it. You can turn the OP-1 into a fake theremin by going into the phone effect and using settings like these. The reason we want the phone effect is that that blue needle controls pitch. So then what you want to do is go into the modulation section and hook it up so that the blue needle is controlled by the OP-1's internal accelerometer. That means you can now control pitch by tilting the OP-1 while you're playing it. Here's me trying to play Somewhere Over the Rainbow with the OP-1 as a theremin. Conclusion, playing theremin is extremely hard. My next piece of advice is don't be afraid to ignore a lot of what the OP-1 can do. It has a lot of built-in features that are hardcore, like the accelerometer, but it's okay not to touch those. And if you don't, there's some cool sounds hiding in plain sight. I'll give you an example. In the Dr. Wave synth engine, the orange knob is controlling some kind of flanger or phaser, but I don't think it sounds very good. So even though they're giving that to you, I just turn it all the way to 0 and I don't feel bad about it. I also think Dr. Wave sounds cool with no effects and nothing from the modulation section. Sometimes you can get a cooler sound by just drilling down to something more specific and less complicated. The keys on the OP-1 are not touch sensitive, which means they sound the same no matter how hard you touch them. But you can fake it by going into the punch effect, which is a low-pass filter, and using settings like these. Here the blue needle is controlling how hard you want to play. But note that it's not actually controlling the volume, it's controlling the intensity of the treble part of each note, which is a more accurate simulation of how an acoustic instrument responds to touch. Now the OP-1 gives you some options for how to control that blue needle if you don't just want to turn the knob. I found the best choice to be once again the accelerometer. I just thought it was the most expressive and the most responsive while I was playing. One way you can be an advanced snob is to talk about how some types of atonal noise are better than others. I probably didn't believe that in the beginning, but I believe it now, and you can get some good ones on the OP-1. Here's my favorite, which uses these settings in the D synth engine. So what do I like about it? Well, I made the attack and decay settings such that this noise is less fatiguing than some of the other noises in the world. And I also think it just has a hazy quality that I like. And you can lean into something like that by adding reverb and just playing the noise as like a rhythmic starting point for something else. When you use the OP-1 as a sampler and you hold down one note, it'll just loop the note over and over and over again. But you can choose from across the life of that one note, you can choose which part of that is getting used as the loop. Now, the reason this is cool is that the OP-1 pitch shifts that one note to create every other key on the keyboard, but every time it does the pitch shift, the length of that note changes, which means in sampler mode, no two notes on the OP-1 will have the same length. So the pro tip here is to play a chord and hold it down, and each of the notes in the chord will have a different length, which means each of them will start to loop at a different time. And if you just hold it, you'll start to get really cool rhythmic patterns as all those notes chaotically loop independently of each other. So the pro tip is to do that and use that as the starting point for something else.